Last year, as the Ukraine problem unfolded, as Putin invaded Ukraine and encircled Kyiv, or tried to, a band came to the UK and asked for my help in trying to negotiate the complex arrangements of the post-Brexit access for musicians from outside the UK. And in fact, I wasn't able to help with very much of it. And today there's a story of a German punk rock band, Trigger Cut, a three-piece band from Stuttgart, that was due to play 7 venues across the UK this week. And they were turned away by the UK Border Force at Calais on the 6th, a couple of days ago. And it seems that there are two different, well, in fact, I know there are two different ways of coming to the UK. One is through a certificate of sponsorship, which is the really difficult way. And the other way is through a month's agreement where they can play as long as they show they've got an invitation from different venues. So the difference between the two is very difficult. The permitted paid engagement, the PPE. I mean, there's too many acronyms which are exactly the same, don't you think? PPE. PPE is also the thing that Matt Hancock was involved with when he wasn't in the stationery cupboard with Gina Colodangelo trying to make the earth move. And PPE, the permitted paid engagement. Well, if that doesn't work, I don't understand why that didn't work in this particular case. In this particular case, I do understand why it didn't work, because whether you enter the UK under one system, the PPE, or under the other system, the COS, is entirely at the discretion of the border agent who meets you. The Trigger Cut people were kept in detention and were then eventually told that their visas were not acceptable. And they've said, with in a way that I think is very understandable, they probably will not try and tour the UK again. It's to our loss. It's to our loss. This is a damage which Brexit is doing to musicians and to artists of all types. Not only are we having difficulty getting to the EU, but the EU is having difficulty getting to us. And not only the EU. The information that the Home Office puts out is incoherent, is inconsistent, is inchoate, and is wrong. And there is no appeal. And so when asked, the British government will say, well, we very much support the arts. Well, how can they support the arts when they've placed a series of twits in control of the digital culture, media and sport? I don't understand. This is their job. So even in the reports of this particular story, why have we not heard anything from Lucy Fraser? Is she asleep on the job? Is she, like Dominic Raab in Crete, sunning herself on the beach while all hell breaks loose? This is surely something to do with her. Why have we not had a report? Why have we not had her on the BBC explaining that she's sorry that these people got fouled up because of the incompetence of the Home Office? She doesn't answer her letters, and nor does Suella Braverman. I recently wrote to Suella Braverman because I wasn't getting a reply from Digital Media, Culture and Sport. And my MP seemed to think that it was inappropriate to do so. I've now received a letter from him saying that he has forwarded my letter to Suella Braverman. We wait to see what happens. I suspect very little. It seems to me that this present government is not interested in the constituents. It's only interested in holding on to power for as long as it possibly can, and that is not a positive sign in any government. The local elections are coming up, and I don't think this government is setting a very good example for anybody who thinks they should be voting Conservative. I don't think it's doing its work.